Okay, so this video game movie trailer was a massive disappointment. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of upcoming video game movie rants. And this is actually the 10th episode of upcoming video game movie rants, not counting the decimal episodes, but just whole number episodes as a whole. This is actually the 10th episode. And this time, the upcoming video game movie we're going to be talking about this time is Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So, I guess to start off, the trailer opens up with basically saying that Sonic has found everything he needs in order to survive. He basically needs everything. He has his gang. He has people who look out for him. He has his crew essentially, and basically he hasn't changed. He hasn't changed one bit because according to the last two movies, he doesn't want to grow up yet, and that basically he hasn't changed at all. He hasn't especially changed at all through his lungs, which doesn't really make any sense. I don't know if he's breathing the same. I don't know why. I don't know if he'd inhaled anything or something. I don't know. That bit of dialogue doesn't really make any sense. And then Tom says it could also be that his heart hasn't changed, which also doesn't make any sense. Because, why would there be something wrong with... Okay, so... Next up in the trailer, we see that Project S.H.A.D.O.W has basically broken out. So you know that frozen capsule thing in the mid-credit scene for Sonic the Hedgehog 2? Well, that's now been changed to water instead of ice for whatever reason. They did it again where they changed something from the mid-credit scene to the actual movie to make it different. It's kind of like with Tails at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog, where only one of his tails was shown during the mid-credit scene, and then the second one appeared, and then comes Sonic the Hedgehog 2, they don't try to hide the second tail. So it's like, come on, people, why are you doing this? Why change the scene? Just keep it in. Or better yet, don't include it in the movie at all. So basically, Project S.H.A.D.O.W is kind of like the opposite of Sonic, according to Commander Walters, because while Sonic has freedom and family, I think that's what he said, Project S.H.A.D.O.W only has experienced pain. Project S.H.A.D.O.W only knows about pain and loss, which you guys are probably gonna hate me for saying this, but that villain arc sounds a bit too similar to Knuckles, because Knuckles has gone through nothing but pain and loss his entire life, because Knuckles lost his father and he had to train the ways of the Echidna warrior, which was probably hard to do since he's a kid. They recycled something from the second movie and then basically say, oh look, why don't we take that and then put it for this character? And Project Shadow is supposed to be a movie exclusive. So I mean, okay, so Gunn has to. Okay, so basically, Gunn needs the help of Sonic and his crew. So they go to try and fight Project Shadow, which doesn't end up working because it seems like Project Shadow is too much for them. Because Project Shadow breaks Knuckles' wrist. He kicks Tails, or it kicks Tails, and then basically grabs Sonic by the neck, and then uses the air shoes that it has on, and then slams Sonic to the ground. So obviously they're not going to get anywhere with that. So throughout the trailer, they keep trying to beat it in no avail. And then also in one of the frames, we see that Tom is now a gun agent for whatever reason, which also doesn't make any sense considering considering his past actions with Gunn with the last two movies. Yeah, that doesn't really make any sense. I don't know why he'd become a gun agent all of a sudden. Okay, but anyways, so then Sonic has no choice but to ask the one person that could possibly stop Project Shadow. Yeah, that's right. The one character we haven't seen that's supposed to be dead. And Sonic asks for his help. That's right. I'm talking about Dr. Ivo Robotnik. And now Robotnik is fat for whatever reason, and okay. Yeah, I don't really get why they made Robotnik fat. Because I mean, was it a side effect for when he crashed? Did he suddenly gain the weight? I don't. And then isn't he supposed to be dead? Like, I mean, even in the mid-credit scene for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, they say he couldn't have possibly survived that. So how is it that he's alive? Okay, and then after that, just Sonic basically makes a deal with Robotnik, and they end up teaming together, which completely contradicts the canon for the games, because Robotnik would never team up with Sonic. Never. Okay, I better finish up. There's not much of the trailer left. So then scenes just flash through, not much footage regarding the story shown, just like a quick 5-second flash images. And then it ends with, and then basically it seems like at the end of the trailer, Sonic and Project Shadow are fighting each other, and then Shadow reveals, sort of, that I guess what it's implied is that it's gonna destroy the world. Which, I mean, to be fair, that's a bit different from Robotnik. Robotnik only wanted to enslave the world rather than destroy it. But that still doesn't make sense as to why he would team up with Sonic. And to make matters worse, after the title at the end of the trailer plays, we see Robotnik's father. Yeah, that's right. You heard me correctly. Robotnik, someone who doesn't have family, that was implied in the first two movies, has family. Which again contradicts what's implied. So there's basically 3 contradictions with Robotnik in this. Okay, well, now that I've talked about the entire trailer, now it's time to give our thoughts about our problems with this, how the movie could go. So, why don't you start off?
Well, I have a problem with the fact that from the first 2 movies, they claim that he claims to have been an orphan, and all of a sudden, not only does he have a father, but he recognizes that father. So, how exactly does he go from orphan, whose parents are supposed to be dead, to having a parent that he not only finds but recognizes?
Well, to be fair, when Robotnik sees him for the first time, he doesn't recognize the person.
Well, but it's like he goes from orphan to having a parent. So that's kind of a twist on the whole thing. And then the other thing is that they don't explain how is it that suddenly Shadow, Project Shadow,
Yes.
how is all of a sudden they've had him all these years in, I don't know, Shadow Prison. I don't know what to call it. That thing they kept him in.
I'm gonna call it the. Well, it seems like it's some sort of prison island, so we can call it that.
Right. And how come all of a sudden he has the ability to escape after all those years of being there? That's another question I have. How has he suddenly gained the access to escape when he'd been confined there for all those years? At least that's implied.
Well, yeah.
Because at the end of with the second movie, didn't they say it had been there 50 years? Am I remembering right?
Yeah, they say it's been well, no, they say a file regarding Project Shadow was buried very deep in the system, dating back over 50 years.
So we don't really know his true age, but it's something that how did all of a sudden how did he escape? That's another question we have. What gave him the ability to suddenly escape?
Yeah, because I mean, something must have been keeping it there for all. Something must have been keeping it at bay for all those years, and all of a sudden, um, something triggered it, causing it to break out and then kill everyone.
Right. So that's another question mark as to what led to all of that. And of course,
What does the acronym SHADOW stand for?
that's another one. And also, we always assumed or thought that Sonic was the fastest. In
This time, Project Shadow is even faster. I mean, it even beat up Knuckles.
I mean, it didn't.
If Knuckles can't beat the damn thing, then I guess we can call this thing. I guess we can just call this thing the ultimate mercenary.
I don't know. He even when Sonic tried to react to him, Sonic looked like he was in slow motion. So he was super fast.
Yeah, basically that thing flashed before their eyes.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, how is he so fast? Another question.
Yep.
So this trailer leaves a lot of questions. This trailer seems to contradict some of the things from the earlier movies.
Such as Robotnik having some damn family.
No, well, not only that, but Robotnik was for all purposes at the end of the second movie, they pretty much said he was dead, and all of a sudden he's alive. So there's another one again. So I don't know. There's a lot of unanswered questions that I think only to seeing the movie.
Yeah, and the fact that they brought back Jim again. I don't know if it was by force or if it was something else, but somehow they got him to reprise his role as Robotnik, and they basically told him to get fat.
Well, that's what it looked like, at least in the trailer. But my other question is, how did they convince him to come out of retirement?
And
He
how
claimed he was going to retire. Did they offer him so much money he couldn't refuse?
And did they?
Was it already planned that he had signed a contract for a third movie, and no, they just didn't tell everybody, so it would be a total surprise? I mean, it's like there's a lot of unanswered questions as to how they got him to reprise his role once more.
Yeah, and and how is he alive? I mean, if he's that fat, wouldn't he be dead?
I don't know, what's weird is that he was supposedly crushed at the end of the second movie under the robot. So it's like, how did he survive that? And more importantly, Agent Stone did not look surprised that he was alive.
Actually, speaking of Agent Stone, where are the rest of the remnants of Robotnik?
Well, don't forget, this is a trailer. Maybe they're going to show them. We don't know. We have to see the movie to find that part out. Are they going to suddenly show up? Are they going to be there? Who knows?
Yeah, because we've only seen 2 out of the 9 remnants of Robotnik so far. One was Stone, obviously, and the other one was that man in Knuckles, that whose name wasn't revealed for whatever reason.
Exactly. So other than that, it's like, where are the rest of them?
I mean,
of course, they might show up in the movie. We don't know.
Yeah, that is true. And then, of course, another thing is that no new characters from the games have appeared in the movie yet. From what we've seen in the trailer so far, it doesn't seem like any new characters have appeared. It's just it's only Sonic, Robotnik, Tails, and Knuckles.
So now we have to wait and see if they're going to bring in any other characters.
Yeah, because I mean, isn't it? It seems like they're trying to tell more of an original story with this movie. I mean, to be fair, one of the companies that is endorsing this movie is called Original Films.
Well, then maybe they're trying to take it a different direction.
Yeah, it could be. Because I mean, we had a great show about Knuckles, and then we had a great movie about Borderlands, and then it seems like this movie is gonna come around and crash the ride. So it looks like this movie will suck because of the poor thought that was put into the story.
Well,
yeah, and also Project S.H.A.D.O.W's voice sucks. And also, they changed the pitch from how Knuckles sounded in Knuckles back to how he sounded in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And the more I hear Knuckles and Project S.H.A.D.O.'s voices in the trailer, it kind of sounds like they mixed up the two. Like the two voice actors were cast. It's like the two were cast into playing the characters, but then they immediately forgot which person was supposed to be voicing which character.
Well, we're gonna have to see how this all turns out, but
yeah.
And the other question would be: is this going to be the only trailer, or there'll be any more footage?
Well, I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog had one trailer. Well, 2 if you count the older one. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 had 3 trailers, and so far for this movie, there's only 1.
Well, then time will tell, won't it?
Yep. So the rating hasn't been revealed yet. The plot hasn't been revealed. The staff and the cast hasn't been revealed yet. However, there are some people who we know is returning based on how they sound and act. They could be different people for all we know. It isn't 100% clear yet, but I actually made a plot prediction for the movie. Look in the description below if you want to see more details. So that's going to be it for this episode of Upcoming Video Game Movie Rants. Go ahead and like the video if, of course, you like this episode and want to see more like this in the future. Share this video with others that you know and spread the word about how awful this movie could be. And then subscribe if you don't want to miss us talking shit about upcoming video game movies. So with that said, this is Thomas575, and I will see you in the next episode when another video game movie trailer comes out for the same movie or a different movie. Yeah.